Hi, Warriors. How's everyone doing today? Let's have a great day. I have some interesting things to share with you guys today. Feel free to ask me any question that you want. On YouTube, I prefer that you go into our platform and type it in there. Show me a link, build your case, collaborate with us. And let me start off with what's happening here in the precious metals. Okay, everyone. So, we have this continuation move that's occurring in silver with the roadblock that we're hitting here in silver. Okay, and this roadblock is 78.6 back from the high of the move that we had back in February. Here we are getting a little reversal candle out of it. I'm not saying that today is it. One of the reasons I would definitely be considering taking longs. I know a lot of people are looking for breakout. The best case scenario I could see in silver, and I've been thinking about this for a while and known for teaching my three drives to a top formation. Here you had one, here you had two with a non-confirmation because by the end of the week we were about unchanged. And maybe we're going to get three, but another potential stopping point is before we get there. So here we are at 78.6. Uh, one of the things that's holding me back from shorting silver is what? Guys that know my work. Anyone want to guess why I'm not shorting it? Doesn't mean I won't miss it. But I just am here not just to make trade calls for you guys, but to teach you some techniques and methodologies that you'll be able to use. I don't care if you trade stocks or commodities or currencies. If you have a chart, you could use my methodology. And I think it's going to give you an edge and at least another couple tools in your tool chest. So, knowing my work in RSI, anyone want to hazard a guess why, even though were rejected from 78.6, why I, based upon my methodology with the real simple implicator, which is what I renamed the RSI relative strength index, is to me a real simple implicator by what it implies. Okay, so if this is the first time you're hearing me, here's an example. So when we headed up in silver here and we made a new high, the first test and rejection at this 78.6 level, if you look at this RSI reading, it confirmed. And markets rarely peak when both when a new high is confirmed by a new high in momentum. You might say, well, we have divergence here. Actually, we don't. If you look at this reading, it was 82, and the reading here uh, is, oh, how about that? Is it 81, 82? Anyway, it's not glaring enough. It's not glaring enough. Hiya, Ben. How are you? Still has room to drop. Yeah, I'm thinking that we get one more push up. It's a possibility, and we may get one more move up as well here. You like that, Adam? Yeah, I've renamed it because what happens is when a market makes a new high, and you have a similar situation in gold, right? Looks like we're confirming that high on the 4 hour. We had better divergence in gold. Okay, so gold actually did not confirm. This was the last confirmed high, and then we diverge, and we're diverging again here. So I'd be real careful. The only thing that gives me pause again is, again, these readings up here. I prefer them to be under 70, right? So, oh, thanks very much. Okay, glad to be working with all you guys. So I'm saying that there is a chance that we pull back and we do a little work here, and we end up taking out these highs. Maybe trade towards 1878, but these are important levels. You can't ignore them. I have to stay with my discipline, and my discipline is saying for now, Dale, you know, you had a confirmed high here. If we had made a new high here and came off, it would have been a different story. But this gives me pause, and I'm just going to be patient. The other thing you can do is you could put a piece on. All right. I'm never all in, all out anyway, just to satisfy your FOMO. And, I don't mean a big piece, just something that makes you pay attention to the market. Say you normally trade, 5,000 ounces at a crack. That's a futures contract, CFD. Go to a mini with 1,000 ounces and trade that for an initial position. So I think we're close to getting these highs in silver and gold. Silver and gold has outperformed the shares. But here, looking at gold, again, we have this confirmed high, but we're not confirming here. So gold actually up here at this 50% level. As excited as people are about gold, and I'm not saying this wasn't a tremendous move, okay? Especially when we held the 1760 breakout, this was pretty obvious. And last week I was saying higher highs in gold. So, it's not like I've been fighting it all the way up, although I have done that before. It didn't happen this time. This time, I was talking about it was bearish a dollar last week, and I said, if the dollar's breaking down after that NFP number, that we had further to go in the upside. And this was one of the areas I was eyeballing, and the same in silver. So I'm alert, looking for short positions, maybe sometime by the end of the week. I just need a couple of attempts, or at least one more attempt at a new high in silver. It's okay if it moves sideways to lower here, and then we get one more high, and we don't give an 80 have an 80 reading, but we have a 70 reading. And same thing in gold. I'd like to see it do some work and then give us a reading under 70 are my preferred shorts. Okay, so if you want to learn the 3 drive formation and the best RSI setups, you could hang out here, watch my videos. You want something more intensive, I do mentor people. So keep that in mind as well. In fact, if you're new to the platform and you're not yet a TradeView customer, if you'd like me to be your broker assist, and this does not apply to people that already have um, accounts with TradeView. But if you don't and you'd like to work with me and have access to what I'm doing during the day besides what I post here and talk about here, there's a link. Be glad to work with you and give you the tight spreads, etc. Okay, so let's get back to the market here. So I'm eyeballing and stalking shorts in the metals. So let's get back to what's happening with the dollar. So I was wrong, okay? I don't walk on water. Dollar made a new low. I got stopped out of the euro for minus 60. And you guys recall when I was going over the currencies yesterday and I said, look at this rally, and at that time we were here, shorted it at 45 out at 05. Here we're confirming these highs here, but remember I said, look at how much of the advance decline the euro had gotten back. Same with pound. Pound's at new highs now. Okay, so and I said comparatively. Okay, so this is something else I teach. If I'm going to be short anything, it was a decent shot. I thought we were going to fail from here and head back down towards this speed line. But the relative weakness, look at the rally Aussie had compared to euro. See that? Aussie, euro. Aussie, cable. So I'm short Aussie, okay? And I'll give it I'm looking for the potential, and the dollar is giving me no reason to do it, okay? It's just the fact that with the dollar being as weak as it is, maybe it's going to be risk off. Maybe it's going to tie in with a top in the metals. Aussie can also be a proxy. I use it as a proxy for gold. Most people say copper, but I see it track pretty closely with the price of gold. It's a decent correlation. So this is another reason I think that gold could be setting up a top. Um, Aussie really known for minerals and mining. China, when they're getting long, one of their biggest customers. So to me, this looks like really just a simple ABC. Could it stretch to 20? I don't know. Let's take a look at some of the fibs here on Aussie. By the way, guys, a week from tomorrow, we're going to have Jack Schwager with us. Anyone ever read Market Wizards? So I think this will be the fifth time I've interviewed Jack. He has some great books out besides the Wizard series. All right, so I'm not getting good fibs on this. I'm only getting the 78.6. Anyway, I'm short from here, risking 60 in Aussie. CAD, it's been the graveyard of bottom pickers for a long time. I've tried it, but you know what? This does not look too bad to me. All right. And, I've been looking for a bottom for a while. Made a donation to the Looney God. Okay. So I tell you what, this does not look bad to me. See the glaring divergence here. So before I was showing you confirmed highs, this is a pretty classic example of a pretty glaring divergence. So you don't have to use your cursor to find out what it is. You could just eyeball it and see that, wow, we didn't even come close to these last lows. And then we kind of diverged here on this spike, and this rally failed. And now we're holding, right around the 30 level. I certainly would not be short Canada, which makes me want to take a look at oil. Oil did make a new high for the move. I thought that we would take out these highs, but we didn't take out these highs. See this? All the way back in March, and we're putting in a pretty good reversal day. Not a bad shot, the crude oil. Just like silver, this is what holds me back. So I'm teaching you about the real simple implicator today. That's why they call me coach. Is, not because I walk on water in the markets and I have an 80, 90% hit rate in the market. I'm probably in the 50s to 60s when I'm in the zone. But I want to teach you guys about this method, which is pretty simple. That's why I call it a real simple implicator. So everyone watching here today, why won't I short a market? And see, it works sometimes. Maybe on different time frames, it didn't confirm. But I mean, let's test this out. What kind of high is this in crude oil that we had? Must have been today, last night. What kind of high is that? Is that a divergence? What is the RSI, the real simple implicator, saying here? Well, both price here and RSI here. RSI confirmed price. So the momentum confirmed the price. What does that imply? If you buy into the theory that markets rarely peak when momentum is confirming new highs and rarely bottoms when momentum is confirming new lows. What does that tell you as a trader? Okay, you guys ready to write it down? Give me a Y. I'm looking at main chat. This is a good lesson. It's going to help you in the markets. Who's ready to write it down? Okay. So when markets and momentum confirm, the probability is that this is only a high, not the high. So we'll watch crude over the coming days and see if crude can make another new high. It's a pretty good break with a confirmed high. Michael's got it. All right. So this is why I can't short the crude. On different time frames, it looked, different. I mean, we didn't confirm here, but I'd like to have agreement on them all. So it could be a high, but I'm just going to see if this happens. I could get one more high because I have you could always find a time frame that'll agree with you. 2 hour was pretty good divergence. Really, the only TF that isn't agreeing that had a confirmed high was the 15-minute. So this will be a real test to see if crude can make one more new high. If it does, you see this reading here, it's a little high, 70. Okay, so that one right there. So we'll see if crude could generate another high. Meantime, Aussie's starting to slide a little bit. I think I've diagnosed this one correctly. CAD, don't be short CAD anymore. It's starting to come out of the hole. All right, I want to get to some more coverage. EG still looks kind of negative to me. It's trying to put in a higher low. It's in, I don't know now in this stage. Maybe this is A, B, C. And if that's the case, maybe for a few days, the euro is going to be the preferred long and cable will be the preferred short. Now, this is a nice divergence up here in cable on the 4 hour. See this? Looks like drive two. Okay. That looks more negative than, let's see what the euro looks like. See, the euro is diverging, but not as much, right? But Aussie, I don't even have to worry about, you know, I guess I could worry about here. So here's an exception. See, there's always exceptions. We made new highs and broke all the way here. And now when everything else is making new highs, we're just retracing in Aussie. So I asked myself this too. If this is the best the Aussie could do with the dollar making new lows, and I'm not calling the dollar bottom, but even if we get a bounce in the dollar, if the Aussie can't perform with the tailwind, what's going to happen with a headwind if there's a bounce in the dollar? You follow that rationale? I mean, it goes back to, just knowing what moves markets and how they're all related, the whole jigsaw puzzle. So if, all it could do is generate a rally like this in a weak dollar environment compared to euro and cable, what's going to happen if euro and cable roll over? And I wouldn't be long cable here. I know a lot of people are saying it's a breakout. Could be another push, but I think this rally is long in the tooth here. This is pretty glaring non-confirmation. But I don't have to be a hero. I'd rather short something not making a new high. That's the lesson for today. And I paid for that lesson because Saturday with my mentees in the Eagle's Nest, I said, what's our preferred short? And, the preferred short was Aussie. So what do? Sunday night, I come in and I short euro. So, I did talk about shorting euro, but it wasn't my preferred short. So let's see what happens with this idea. We have some time left to cover S&Ps here. They're under a little pressure. I interviewed a guy today who thinks this is it, and all we're getting is a failing rally in the S&Ps. I'm still going to give the benefit of the doubt for possibly one more high, but under last week's lows, there's problems. So far, this isn't that much of a give back. And if the dollar is going to go to 88 and a half, which is another 100 pips from here, which would take the euro up to 23 or so, I think that there's a chance the S&Ps do make a new high. So we'll see. I'm kind of waiting for last week. I said keep an open mind when I was bearish. Remember, I was bearish in NASDAQ for a few weeks. This was a pretty big drop, and I was long SQQs, and they had this real nice run. I'm still more bearish NASDAQ. I'm thinking there's a chance for the S&Ps to make a new high and the NASDAQ not make a new high. Um, I don't know if Russell will make a new high. Let's look at Russell. So Russell hasn't made a new high in a long time. Sure looks like a rounding top to me in Russell. So its high was made, looks like a few months ago without a new high, with all the successive new highs that we've had in the Dow, in the S&P, and then a few weeks ago, NASDAQ started losing mo and struggled to make new highs while S&Ps were. Well, the Russell hasn't made a new high like feels like forever to me anyway. To me, forever is a month. Let's see, yields. Keeping an eye on the crude. Yields, after the rally they had last week, we had a little give back, and I still think there's a shot for new highs in yields here. It looks like this is just a normal little pullback after a nice pop. And this may be what's going to be behind the correction in gold. Everything's about yields, right? And silver. They'll possibly get a sell off as yields break out over 172 and make one more high. We have some data that can, I think we have some inflation data coming up here in the next few weeks. Okay, Mike is putting out a notice. What a great platform. Mike's keeping people aware of sweepers that he's seen in the market. So, gold's having a great day, but take a look at a few gold issues. Doesn't look as good as gold. This is Yamana, some type of retracement. I think you'll be able to buy Yamana cheaper. There's GDX, not at new highs. Mike calls Newmont best of breed. I guess you could call it best of breed when it's making new highs, and even the GDX is not making new highs. And momentum's still pretty good there. GDX too. But it looks like on this GDX, we got to some type of horizontal resistance. I don't know why I had it there. And we may be on the verge of a, potential reversal week here in GDX. AUY, not impressed. I think this is a junior. Newmont's a new high. Okay, so could be a 3. And let's see, what else are we going to look at today? So Bitcoin's bouncing, and we did get pretty close to my target from last week. Remember this black line? And remember the chart where I thought we could see 36,000 and it was based upon this? We were up here. So a little over 39,000, 4,000. And for you crypto traders, why don't you monitor this? So we have drive one. Yesterday I talked about that a drive two was developing. Maybe we get one more bounce here and then one more low for a three. But as you can see on multiple time frames, Bitcoin is diverging and setting up a drive two. This is drive one. What kind of low is this? Okay, so you knew as a trader when you have a confirmed low, I'm going to see if Mike Lombardo gets this. It tells you something as a trader that this is just a low, not the low. Therefore, what do you do as a trader? Okay, you sell a rally because you know this is just a low, and the probability, because it was confirmed, is that another low would follow, which is what happened. Now you have a divergence. It's not a reversal signal, but it should tell you if you're still short, you know what, the market's not confirming, momentum's not confirming this low. I think I'll take something off the table. So this would be not to reverse and get long, but there's your take profit, especially if you use the confirm low to sell this rally. And we're not confirming now. If you get it, give me a Y. Okay. Something I noticed, and I want you guys to get prepared for it, is that we're finally getting some downside action in the grains. Not a lot, but if you ever see $12 beans again, they're 16, you got to buy them. You ever see 620 wheat again, you got to buy them. And you ever see 470 corn again, you got to buy them. So, got to buy this break in if this is completing one huge long wave in the grains, okay, you got to be a buyer. This says 460, so do your fibs from the beginning of the bull to the end. And there's your wheat. Actually looks like a 3. And here's your beans. And there again, you get to buy them around 12 bucks. You got to buy them. I know guys talking $30 beans. It's kind of like a famine. It's not that we won't have food, but we're going to pay a lot. We're going to pay a lot for the food. So that's going to be a wrap. Also Thursday, I have a real nice interview with, where is he? If you guys are Silver Bulls, going to be talking to Patrick Kareem, and here's his website. Bad charts. We bad. So be here on Thursday to hear Patrick Kareem talk about the big picture in a lot of these. Very good trader. I also know his partner Kevin at North Star, so should be a great interview. And with that being said, everybody, see what happens with the metals here facing their first test in a while. We'll see if my theory of selling weakness in the currency complex can work out even in the face of a weaker dollar, that being short Aussie. And we'll see how stocks play out here in the next couple of weeks. I'm kind of waiting for month end. Last week I said month end that we could rally. So we'll see what happens if this is a failing rally or we're going to get a new high in S&Ps. So no matter what you're trading, don't just count your profits. Don't cry over your losses. Why don't you just count your blessings? And I'll see everyone tomorrow. There is no secret to trading. The secret is it's hard work and living through adversity. And if that scares you, do something else. Adios, everyone. We'll see you tomorrow.